Good evening. I'm going to call to order our Baldwin County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of November 6th and ask if you will at this time stand. We'll have a prayer and a pledge of allegiance. Our Father, we're thankful to you for this day. We're thankful to you for this great place we live, we call Baldwin County. And Father, we're so thankful for the citizens of this county that make it a great place to live. We're thankful for our first responders, our elected officials, our county workers, all that worked to make it this way also. Thankful for our staff that has put this meeting together tonight. We just pray that we conduct ourselves in a way that shows respect to each other and honors you. And we pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I'll call the roll. Brandon Bice. Here. Scott Schamberger. Michael Mullick. Here. Greg Seibert. Here. Michael Fletcher. Here. George Waters. Reed Key. And with myself, we have exactly enough for a quorum. So, all right. You each received a copy of the minutes of the last meeting of October 2nd for the regular meeting and for the work session. If there are no revisions, I would entertain a motion that both of those be approved.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. Mr. Seibert made the motion to approve. Mr. Mullick second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I abstain since I was not at the meeting. So, all right. We have no items on the consent agenda. Mr. Dixon, do you want to say anything before we get started?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we do have several public hearings today, but just a quick summary of all the items that do have to be heard in a public hearing, which is subdivisions, subdivision variances, conditional use, commission site plan approval, and any kind of regulation change, which we don't have any of those today. But we do have all of the three above that. Our public hearing guidelines, so public comment should only be made during the public hearing portion of the meeting for each item. When the chairman calls you up, if you signed up, you can come up to the podium up front, speak your name and address into the microphone for the record, and the meeting is being recorded, so please try to speak clearly into the microphone for the record. Comments should be directed to the Planning Commission chairman, and he can disseminate those comments to the appropriate people to answer the question. Comments should be focused on the application that is being presented at that time, and individuals who are speaking on a case are limited to 3 minutes, and if you're speaking on behalf of a group, just let the chairman know and what group you're speaking on behalf of, and he can give you 5 minutes to speak on those items. But just a reminder on the subdivision cases, the state law is very clear that if they've met all of our regulations, that we have no discretion but to approve the subdivisions when they are in complete conformance with our regulations. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, with that, we will start going down our items. So our first item, which has several different aspects to it, is the Fairhope 181 Marketplace. This is case number PUD 24-14, which is a PUD, and then we have a construction site plan, which is CSP 24-40. And then we have a subdivision variance, which is SB 25-05, and a highway construction setback variance, which is HCA 25-03. we'll discuss all of those items on this particular item, and then we will vote on them individually. But Ms. Waters, you want to set this one up for us?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you mentioned, this is the Fairhope 181 Marketplace. The subject property is located in Planning District 37. The current zoning is B2. The subject property is located west of State Highway 181 and north of Mosley Road. The property owner is Mr. Michael Murray, and the request is to develop a planned unit development and a commission site plan for an office warehouse. The proposed is one building with 4 units. The site property is approximately 1.1 acres. The public utilities are City of Fairhope for water and sewer and Riviera for your electrical. The engineer of the project provided a drainage narrative that was reviewed and accepted with some comments from our permit engineer. As I mentioned, the applicant is requesting a planned unit development with a commission site plan approval to build an office warehouse with 4 units to be leased. The subject property is approximately 1.1 acres in Zone B2, and the adjacent parcels are designated for commercial purposes, and the request meets the requirements of the Baldwin County zoning ordinance. The applicant has also requested a subdivision variance from the provision of Article 6 regarding the open space and usable space for the commercial development. In addition to the subdivision variance, we've had a request for a highway construction setback appeal from Section 5.4, where minor arterials require 100-foot setback from the center line of the right-of-way. The applicant has provided supporting documentation from ALDOT for the highway construction setback appeal. Here are your staff recommendations. Staff is recommending approval with conditions. Here is your zoning map of the subject property and your vicinity map. Here is your site plan and your landscaping plan. Property images and statements from the applicant regarding the subdivision variance and highway construction setback appeal. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, prior to anybody asking questions, let me ask if anybody needs to disclose any prior communication on this item. All right, if not, does anybody have any questions for staff? Okay, thank you, Ms. Waters. I have the applicant sign it, Mike McElmurray. Did you want to come up and speak?
I'm available to answer questions. I didn't really have.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir. And that's all I had signed up to speak on this item. All right. What we will do is we'll start with the highway construction setback request and back those in that way. Then we'll deal with the PUD and site plan last. So let's take the highway construction, HCA 25-03. What's your desire?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. We approve HCA 25-03, subject to staff conditions.
Okay, Mr. Bias made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Mullick has seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And chairman votes aye also for this. So the highway construction setback request is approved. Next will be the SV 25-05. This is the variance request for the open space.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion. We approve SV 25-05, subject to staff conditions.
Okay. Mr. Bias made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Mr. Seibert seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes aye also. All right, and we'll group the last two, the PUD and the PUD PUD 24-14 and CSP 24-40.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion. We approve PUD 24-14 and CSP 24-40,
Okay,
subject to staff conditions.
thank you, sir. Mr. Bias has made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Mullick seconded the motion. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes aye in favor also, so all of these are approved. All right, our next item is case number SV 25-20 and case number SC 25-44. This is a resub of Lot 1 of Leon Acres. Does anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Ms. Waters, you going to do this one also?
I'm going to be here for a while.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Chairman, this subject property is located in Planning District 29. It is zoned RA for rural agricultural. The subject property is located west of County Road 91 and south of Baraka Road in the Lillian community area. The applicants has submitted a subdivision variance request for relief from the Baldwin County subdivision regulations regarding the width of the flag lots to allow a 30-foot flag instead of a 60-foot on the proposed parcel. Here's your staff analysis. The subject property, as I mentioned, is west of County Road 91, south of Baraka Road. The Lillian Acre subdivision is a 3-lot subdivision that was recorded in November of '23, and the proposed subdivision in front of you today is for 2 residential lots. Excuse me. The variance request from the subdivision regulation is regarding the lot width, the flag width of the proposed parcel. And staff will base the recommendation of the request of the variance based on Article 8. Comments here from Jenny Mosley was the recommendation of denial of the variance request follows Article 8, Section 8.1, where it mentions inconvenience, financial concerns, or self-imposed conditions shall not be considered as a hardship for the purpose of granting a variance. Here is your aerial map and your zoning map. A rotated of the original subdivision of Lillian Acres and your proposed replat and an enlarged image reflecting proposed Lot 1 and Lot 1A. We have received some public comments opposing this request, so I have put those here for you. And staff's recommendation is we are recommending denial of the subdivision variance as case SV 2520, but we're recommending approval of case SC 2544 with the following conditions. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions for staff? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I have the applicant, Sandy Good.
Kathy.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'm Sandy Good. Kathy Good is the owner.
Okay, did you want to say anything? Okay.
Hi,
Hi.
glad this is here. We understand that we have to have a hardship, so if I can just have a few minutes and try to get through this really quickly. We bought the property in December of 2023, sorry. It was our kind of final resting place, you might say, and we wanted a farm and all that. And we hope to maybe sell 1 lot. Just to help us financially. Okay, so that's beside the point. In the process, we first found out that we couldn't do family division, which was something we were hoping to do because we're getting old and we wanted to know that it was going to go to our kids, but we'll do that some other way. So we gave that one up when we found out that we weren't allowed to do family division there. So that was a disappointment for sure. We have 16 grandchildren. So And then in 2024, my husband was involved in a head-on collision. He was actually coming back from the property to where we live in Pensacola and was injured severely in his back. And so that took a good while for him to get better, so things kind of slowed down. Couldn't get anything done. Then I got really sick with a terrible flu later when all the snow happened during that period of time. So it slowed everything down, but we were slowly getting everything in to work towards getting this done when it was still a 30-foot thing. In the meanwhile, we had our septic system put in, we had our well put in, we built a little well house to protect it, and got the slab done for building our house, and then it became January 6th, which we got the, we finished the, what's it called, the wetlands thing. That was submitted in time, but we still were short the DWG. I could not find anybody who could do that. Everybody was either busy or they didn't respond. So that put us over into the new time frame where it changed from 60 feet to, from 30 feet to 60. So we now have a septic system that is right where the 60-foot would be coming in. Yeah, it shows on there. So anyway, that would not be possible to drive on, obviously. And what else?
Or just that, being part of Baldwin County for a number of years and living on Bartell Street, we've noted that I guess our request is we don't see the harm it would bring. We're totally aware of the new regulations, and
Yes.
we understand that and stuff. We had no idea that the septic system was going to
Be in the way.
interfere. We had hoped to get that in the 30-foot before the time frame. Anyway, we weren't able to do that, but so we're aware that, like different roads are within the 30-foot even today. But anyway, so we are requesting the variance so that, we could keep it country. We're hoping that, and, as far as the hardship goes of coming across the septic and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you.
The septic, and also the fact that it would literally, I'm not even sure distance-wise if that would not put them within the setback of our house, because it's somewhere really close to that. And, I don't know what the exact measurements would be to tell you exactly, but I know that they would be driving in my backyard. And that's, our goal was to have a country home. And it's just been a lot of disappointing things along the way that have happened. And it's not you all's fault, I know that. But it's life.
That's our request.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be our request, so.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, anybody have any questions for the applicant?
So just to confirm, the septic has been installed. It's in the ground.
It's there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
there. It's
it's-
brand new.
and
It's hooked up to the house. We haven't even used it yet. So it's brand new.
Because prior to, we were hoping to get under the wire and.
And have
just
the
couldn't get
30-foot
DWG
entry.
And anyway, so, but
Yeah,
we
so the
didn't
60.
anticipate that problem.
Yeah.
And the green lines on the map, I think I see it up there saying approximate, so there's,
Yeah,
It's pretty close.
Yeah, they're saying that that's the approximate location of the field lines.
yes.
Fabi, we didn't talk about this in work session, I've looked at it again. Why couldn't they have made the strip 60 feet wide? The conflict only seems to be in the bend.
Right.
So why not make the strip 60 feet wide? I'm not so sure, I'm just one person, but it seems like the only conflict we got is that small bend right there. It's not the entire 60, the entire length of that, it's just there in the bend.
Right.
Is that not an option? I understand that that field line will still be in the 60-foot in the bend, but it is, you're only talking about the tip of the line,
Yes.
and actually your roadway could be offset in that strip and not even conflict with, I'm just asking, Jay.
We didn't talk about that, but it would still require a variance because that
Well,
corner to corner.
I'm not saying it wouldn't, I'm
Right,
just saying
but-
what
But I
could we
think
do?
the intent of why the 60 feet was put into the regulation was really about the roadway access out to the roadway. So, if it's a minor variance, getting around a bend because of a field line, that's a different conversation. The concern the staff has is,
Yes.
that 30 feet going all the way out the roadway, that's not enough. That's why I got increased to 60 feet. It creates access issues on county roads.
The
That's
other
right.
issue that I don't know if you were going to say is what we did in the restrictions is we made sure that there will be only one home there. It's in the covenants that only one dwelling would be
Yes.
there. So there's no future possibility of another
And then it can
home
never be
or
divided in
more
any way.
access and we wanted to do that. We wanted to we know we could have gone 3 acres, but we wanted to go 5 acres to keep it country, because we want to be in the country. And that was another reason we put it in the
Covenants.
restrictions to, it wouldn't be the traffic.
And just so you know, regarding covenants and restrictions, our department does not regulate that. So if we were to receive a permit request for a secondary dwelling, like an accessory dwelling, we would not be able to say no. It would be up to you to enforce those covenants and
I
restrictions.
see.
Okay, yes.
We would
Okay.
be there.
Okay. Any other questions? Because we have one person in opposition, I'm going to bring them up, but I'll let y'all.
I believe you can construct anything within 10 feet of that field line, so I guess that's an approximate. I guess you don't know exactly where it ends, right?
The field line?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was there when they put
We-
it,
the
the whole thing
surveyor-
in, he saw, but,
Well, the surveyor came out.
Yeah, and the
He
surveyor.
Placed
Right,
it there.
right.
And, yeah, it shouldn't be, that's why the other reason, the 30 of keeping it away from there, away from the field line.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
and the line actually, I don't know if you can tell, but the line actually drops down to a lesser size than that front little lot along 91 there. So that's why it's at that little weird angle too. To make it 5 acres, we
Okay.
did that. So anyway.
Any other questions? All right, I've got one in opposition I need to call up, all right? Richard Warner?
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Richard Warner. They're my next-door neighbors, new next-door neighbors. The land, and I basically came up here to find out what's going on. This is the first time I've heard about this. I own the 8 acres adjoining them on the south side. I have the longest contingent fence row with them. And my main concern is wanting to know how many times is this going to get cut up into houses? This is what Baldwin County does, it's flipped. This land on the north side that they bought was 22 acres approximately. The land on the south side was like 37 or 38 acres. Our family owned the original 70 acres. Those 2 neighbors and myself, I own 8 acres. And this is the first time I've heard about it. And as y'all all know, that it's, everybody buys stuff, flips it, and it just gets cut up smaller and smaller. And I just don't know how many times it's going to be cut. I don't know if y'all have control or if it's already written up in the laws of the subdivision.
Any division of land from here on, whatever they decide to do, will have to be just like tonight. They'll have to present a plat back to the planning commission if they decide to divide it again in the future, and it'll have to meet county regulations, and it would come back to another public hearing, unless there was some type of a family division exemption that the county has. But
No, sir.
None of
They'd
that
have to
is-
come back here.
have to come back to here. So they would, any future division will come back here in another meeting if they choose to do that.
Yeah. Because I know, I just don't know why people, if they're gonna live on small acreage, just buy small acreage, don't buy it and cut it up, like that. But, they're gonna be my north neighbors, but I've been there since 1963, and I just don't like what's happening in Baldwin County,
Well,
It's,
you're probably in
fighting them.
company with a lot of other people, but.
right, I understand that. And like I said, this is the first time I've heard about it. They hadn't said anything to me about it, so, and I don't know. They said something, the lady at the front that I got permission from, they said something about their son's supposed to be buying it. And then I don't know, I know their daughter's in real estate. She's a realtor, so that kind of sends up a red flag to me that they're getting, starting to cut it up. And I know they've had problems medically. We all do.
Well, the main thing is they've got to meet the regulations, and that's what we're dealing with tonight
Right.
on this one, so.
And I guess the main thing was something about the variance from the 60-foot right-of-way you had to have around there, right?
Say it again.
I guess your main thing here was about the 60-foot right-of-way?
It is. That's what we're discussing now.
Okay. And I understand that the neighbor to the south, he had to give an easement of 15 feet all around his. Has this one got the same thing for the utilities?
No.
No.
It doesn't? Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I had signed up on this item. Ms. Waters, you have anything to add?
I do not.
Any other questions by,
Fabi, this is zoned RA. Can you remind us what the minimum lot size is on RA?
3 acres.
So they couldn't subdivide this?
Not this
without-
parcel.
Without rezoning?
They could further divide the one that's highlighted in purple,
Right.
which is their parent parcel, but not this parcel.
Yeah, I think to track along that conversation we were having earlier, I think if this was still a 60-foot flag, and it would be a easier variance to deal with if we're talking about just cutting a corner of that around the fill line, as opposed to trying to get a variance for the full 30 to 60 difference.
that's what I'm saying. I agree.
I would agree with that, too. There's got to be enough room there to end up with a 60-foot right-of-way.
All right. So we have 2 requests, and we're going to deal with the
Mr.
with the
Chairman,
variance first.
I believe someone else.
I'm sorry, I signed up to speak, but it's not showing.
Okay, it wasn't on this particular item, but come on up. You caught me just before I closed the public hearing.
I'm sorry, I signed up for 2 matters, public hearing or comments, and this one, I don't know what happened. Tracy Gamble, 32054 Bartell Street, Alberta, Alabama. I sit on the Board of Adjustment, and of course, I've been to many of the Planning Commission meetings and the rezoning meetings before the commission, and I just want to say that given the timing of the fact that this new regulation came into effect when these people were already apparently in the process of having this septic tank installed, it seems a little unfair to me to hold that against them at this later date. And with all of the setback variances and allowances that I see given to developers all the time, I just have to say that I am support of this being, I guess I do not support a denial. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, with that, I'm closing the public hearing. Unless someone has a question, I'll entertain a motion. This is on the variance first.
I make a motion that we deny case SV 25-20.
All right, Mr. Mullick's made a motion to deny the variance request. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Bice has seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion?
I have a question on the motion. If we deny this, what's their next option? To bring this back, somehow figure out a 60-foot way to make this a 60-foot flag lot?
They can either revise the plat to meet our regulations or revise and submit another variance request with a different request. and it would be best if they withdrew before you took action on the subdivision, because if you deny the subdivision request, they will have to wait 4 months before they can reapply.
Well, that's what I was getting at. I didn't know if that option had been expressed to the applicants or not.
We're going to.
Got it,
We're
thank
going to deal
you.
with this variance first, and then we'll deal with the second request.
If we deny this variance, do we even need to take action on the subdivision?
Yes, because it's 2 public hearings.
Okay.
Any other questions on the motion? All right, so the motion has been made and seconded to deny SV 25-20. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes aye. All right. So with that, the variance request is denied. Do you want us to take action on the subdivision, or do you want to withdraw that subdivision request?
I'm really disappointed. We presented hardships that were real and the reason why we couldn't do it.
Well, I understand, but at this point, we've already made the decision, so you need to make a decision on the subdivision. If you don't withdraw it, we will take action to deny it, and you'll have to wait 4 months before you can bring it back, if you intend to make any kind of alterations to meet the regulations. So,
So to understand, if we don't withdraw it, and then we want to represent something on the 60-foot thing, can we do that in 4 months?
4 months.
But if we do withdraw it, what?
You can,
what's the
you,
difference? Tell me the
you can come back immediately with a revised plat. You don't have to wait 4 months.
Oh, I see. I guess we withdraw the whole thing.
Okay, so just make sure, because you're so far away, I want to be sure I'm clear. You're saying you want to withdraw the request for the subdivision?
Ma'am, sir, can you please come to the microphone? It's because this is a live meeting, and it won't be picked up.
I'm the property owner, Kathy Good. Sorry. I'm really disappointed.
I understand, but, we can't back that up, so it's done. So now I just need to know what you want to do going forward.
I want you to undo it. I'm serious. We presented real hardships.
Ms.
and
Good, we
it's been ignored.
we understand that. Your options are, if you don't withdraw this, then you're kicking the can down the road 4 months. So the only real way to quote-unquote undo it is to think really hard about withdrawing it. That's going to ultimately be your best option. Because, I mean, if you do that, you have the option to literally show back up tomorrow morning and start this over again. Am I not correct in saying that?
And I think we here see an option for you.
Yes.
That 60 foot is not, you say 30, but you can do the 60.
No hill for a climber.
Well, except somebody's going to be driving right in my backyard and possibly within the setback that is there, which is 40 feet. So no, not for the septic. I'm talking about
Well,
the setback of where our house is.
So
We
we have
can't
to-
move the
We
house.
just have to resubmit, and then. that's-
But we can't resubmit the same thing, right?
No.
Well,
So it's got to be,
if I may,
please.
your setback on your sides, the minimum is 15.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if y'all requested 40 feet to be reflected as your side setback, but the front and the rear are 40, but this
Yes.
is your side setback, and it's 15 is the minimum. So that setback can be reduced to 15 and not 40 feet, if that's what you want to do.
And Mr. Bias, I think you said that there's a setback on the septic line. Was that you that said that?
That was Mike.
You did.
No, I recently put in a septic system, and they told me you can build within 10 feet of that
10 feet.
drainage line.
That's
Yeah,
where, so what about a road, you know?
I don't know.
Okay, all right, so we'll have to.
Well, I would
Well,
say
you
too,
say it,
because you
because
do
I
own
know.
this,
So-
you would own this new lot being created. You could put some deed restrictions on that lot where this drive would be placed that would push it to the southern side of that 60-foot easement. So there's a lot of control you ultimately have.
All right, I see.
Okay, so even though you're selling it to them, you can still possibly
Right.
Sure.
say you
Put
can only
restrictions.
use
You can
part.
put
Okay,
deed-
so we'll go ahead and withdraw.
Yeah. Deed restrictions will be outside of our purview,
Right,
but as
gotcha.
property owners, it's
Sure.
something you can do.
So we'll withdraw the whole subdivision thing, I guess.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. All right. If they've withdrawn it.
So you would just need to take action to approve the withdrawal request.
My microphone's not working, but you have to take,
Okay. All right, so I'll entertain a motion then.
I make a motion, we accept the withdrawal of the subdivision
All right, Mr.
application.
Cybers made a motion to accept the withdrawal of the application for the
I'll
subdivision,
second.
SC 25-44.
Yes.
I'll second.
Mr. Mullick, second the motion. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I vote aye also. All right. All right, our next item is case number SV 25-22. This is Price Grub subdivision, another variance for remnant parcel, and case number SC 25-49. This is for the 9-lot subdivision. Does anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Ms. Booth?
Good evening. So before you have SV 25-22, which is a variance for Price Grub subdivision, and a preliminary plat approval for SC 25-49 for a 9-lot residential subdivision. It's located in Planning District 12. It is zoned RSF1, Single Family District. So they're proposing 9 lots. All lots will front on a paved roadway. The smallest lot size is going to be 43,570 square foot. So prior history for the property, on July 16th, this was rezoned from RA to RSF1. They have on-site septic, public water, and EMCB electricity. They did have a drainage report that was reviewed by our permit engineer, and it has been accepted. They do have wetlands on the parcel. A wetland delineation was not provided, so they have shown the 50-foot required wetland buffer. They are requesting a variance, this is your subject property. So they're requesting a variance for the remnant parcel, which is approximately 30 acres, to not be included in with the subdivision for the 9 lots. This is your overall preliminary plat. Staff recommends the subdivision variance request for Price Grub subdivision variance for the remnant parcel be approved, and staff believes that approval of this variance request is in compliance with Article 8, Section 8.1 and Section 8.1.1 of the subdivision regulations. And staff recommends preliminary plat approval for Price Grove subdivision for SC 25-49 be approved with conditions subject to compliance with Baldwin County subdivision regulations. Specific conditions that the variance for the remnant parcel be approved. Any future development of the subject properties will need to adhere to the Baldwin County subdivision regulations and the Baldwin County access management policy procedures. And then on the final plat, before it gets recorded, just add this notation that the remnant parcel was approved by variance tonight. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Okay. Mr. Deal? I did, at the very beginning.
Good evening. Good evening, David Deal with SC Civil. I'm just here to answer any questions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Deal? Pretty easy, huh? All right.
You'll take it.
Mr. Deal's the only one I had signed up for this item, so I will close the public hearing on this item. I will entertain a motion.
Do we need to take these cases separately, Mr. Chairman?
Let's go ahead and do the variance. We'll continue our track on this, what we've been doing.
I'll make a motion that we approve case SV 25-22.
All right, Mr. Mullis made a motion to approve the variance request, SV 2522. Do you have a second?
Seconded.
All right, Mr. Seibert, second the motion. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes aye also for approval. Okay, now for the subdivision request.
I'll make a motion to approve case SC 25-49, subject to staff conditions.
Okay, Mr. Mullis made a motion to approve. Do you have a second?
Seconded.
Mr. Seibert, second the motion. Any question on this item? On this motion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes aye for approval also. Okay, at this time, we'll open the public hearing now for case number SPP 24-26, the BFLC Rolling Hills Estates West. Does anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Ms. Waters?
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This request is for a 9 lots, large acre subdivision. This is located in Planning District 13, and it is unzoned. The total acreage of the subject property is approximately 190 acres, and all proposed lots are going to be 20 acres and greater. The public utilities proposed are just wells and septic tanks. Regarding the wetlands, a wetland report prepared by Craig Martin with Wetland Science. 40 wetland impacts has been submitted for staff to review. All other wetland areas, the applicant has utilized a 50-foot wetland building setback per the Baldwin County Generalized Wetland Map. Like I mentioned, the total site consists of approximately 190 acres, currently being utilized as log timber operation. A wetland fill permit for no impact has been submitted to the Corps of Engineers. The applicant is proposing to install a 160 linear foot bridge over Cowpen Creek. Staff is recommending approval with the following specific conditions. Here is your vicinity map. The red circle here is where he is proposing to bridge the connection over the wetlands. Here is your preliminary plat, again reflecting the bridge. And a commercial driveway will have to be installed at the access of County Road 87. And here's the proposed bridge profile for that connection. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? So the access to all these lots is from County Road
87.
87, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I know we can't require the bridge to be built.
No,
They
these
can-
are private easements.
I get it.
So we're not
But they can
accepting.
they can still sell those lots even though they
Yeah,
can't
our rules
access them?
For 20-acre lots or larger, we don't require any of those improvements to be made. They can,
I understand,
Yeah.
but what about access? How do they get access if they,
it would be between the landowners to construct that access. That's how our rules are written. Now, what we do require with the new regulations is that connection point to County Road 87, they have to do a commercial driveway permit and install that connection to 87 before they can record the plat. But with these large acre subdivisions, they're all private roads, and our regulations don't require those.
well, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I agree and understand that. Even if it's a trail road, I get it, they can access, but when there's no bridge, you can't get, I don't know how you sell a lot to somebody if they can't get to it. There's no guarantee on our end that they're going to get it. All right. If you're telling me that's our option, that's our own choice, so. All right, any questions for staff, other than my babbling?
So, again, just questioning, we're creating these lots, and this bridge is not required?
Nope.
This is a proposed bridge, but not a requirement.
It's
of
not,
That's right.
so what we have to have a copy of the federal permit, the Corps of Engineers permit that allows that bridge to be constructed by the property owners. But since this is a private easement amongst those property owners for access to the 20-acre lots, the county's not going to be accepting any of those roads or the bridge for maintenance. That's a civil matter amongst those property owners to how they construct it, because that's the way our rules are written. But we do require that permit to be in hand to know that it can be installed
Yes.
prior to the plat being recorded.
That covers.
Right. That's where our kind of jurisdiction stops right there.
Yeah, and the applicant will have to, the applicant or the property owner, whoever decides to make the improvement, will have to submit a floodland disturbance permit application to our department for the proposed bridge.
Okay. I had no one sign up for this item. So I will close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve SPP 24-26, subject to staff conditions.
All right, Mr. Bice made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Mr. Seibert seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes in favor also, so motion carries. That's what I'm saying. All right, we'll open the public hearing now for case number SPP 24-27, BFLC Rolling Hill Estates. Does anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Ms. Waters?
I was like, I don't see it. Well,
Not cooperating?
technical difficulties. It's not going. Okay, there we go. Maybe. Sorry about that. Let me try to close this. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, this is BFLC Rolling Hills Estates. This is a preliminary plat approval for a 36 large acre subdivision. This is also located in Planning District 13 and is actually on the east side of County Road 87 from the project that we just went over. 36 20-acre lots are proposed. Again, the utilities are individual wells and septic tanks. Wetland reports by Craig Martin have been presented to staff for review also. The total site consists of approximately 919 acres, currently being utilized as a log timber, and also operating the Grand River Motorsports. A wetland fill permit application has also been submitted for the Corps of Engineers for the proposed wetland crossings. The applicant is requesting approximately 1.7 acres of impact for access to the proposed lots. Staff is recommending approval of this project with the following specific conditions. I have a slide here for public comments with some information that was submitted to staff while the meeting had taken place. So we've not been able to vet or review this information, but I wanted to put it on here on screen for the Planning Commission to review. So I will give you a moment if you can see, if you would like to read through it. You're good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, here is your vicinity map. I have highlighted here the project we just saw, which is Rolling Hills West, and the proposed subject property. And here is a copy of the proposed preliminary plat. This project will also have a commercial driveway to be installed off County Road 87 to access all the proposed parcels. And here is the environmental impacts that are proposed with all of the wetland crossings. With all of that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are all these lots buildable?
Yes, they all have at least 40,000 square feet of buildable areas.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, let's see what we got here. I've got Thomas Henry. Okay. All right. Just give us your name, please.
I'm Mark Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the letter that she just had up. So in reviewing the application and what was submitted, the application seems to be significantly deficient in detail that's required by the Baldwin County regulations. 4.51F and 4.5 should be 2J. Regarding easements, they have to be identified and they have to be shown. And the application doesn't do that. So there's some litigation history with this property. Mr. Henry's property is located on the back side of 12 and 13, yeah, right there, where it says vicinity map. He has like 155 acres there. So after this applicant would not provide access to his property, he applied in the probate court of Baldwin County for a private condemnation. Appointed the Board of Commissioners. Commissioners met, and they issued after a hearing with both sides for and against, the 3 commissioners issued a report to the probate court, which I have those attachments as part of the record. I mean, obviously you hadn't had time to look at this. And they granted an easement and assessed an amount of money. Unfortunately, and maybe just through lack of understanding how to do it, they did not set the right-of-way boundaries, a 30-foot right-of-way, like a defined right-of-way. They granted it without defining exactly where it is, but it basically runs from County Road 87 through the middle of this property to Mr. Henry's property. But if you ask them or me or Mr. Henry, well, where exactly is your 30 feet, it wasn't defined by the commissioners when the probate court granted the easement. Also, there was an issue about how they calculated the diminution in value, before and after value. They did some kind of square footage calculation, which is not the right approach. You have to do it before and after diminution value. So anyway, it was appealed to circuit court, pending before Scott Taylor. All they reflected in their application and their title was there is a Liz Pendens. Well, this is not a Liz Pendens like a claim. This is an actual grant of an easement all the way through this property, 30 feet wide from 87 to Mr. Henry's property for access. And that has not yet been finalized by Judge Taylor. And there's not a practical way for them to submit this for a subdivision with a granted easement that was not identified across the property. So we would say that there's really no way to submit this for you for consideration until Judge Taylor defines where exactly that 30-foot easement running, traversing all of their property from 87 all the way over, where it is exactly located. Because that will be a permanent right-of-way. There's a condemnation proceeding that sets a permanent right-of-way through all this property.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
Any questions?
So what I'm hearing you say is whatever the legal mechanism says, there needs to be a right-of-way, but it does not define where that right-of-way should be.
Well, the legal mechanism allows a private property owner who's basically landlocked to condemn a 30-foot right-of-way to get to their property, which goes from 87 all the way over there. And he did all that, but the commissioners that were appointed, the Board of Commissioners, did not define exactly where it lies, which is part of their responsibility. And that's why it was appealed to circuit court, to basically get it defined. And then they say they used the wrong mechanism, because the private applicant that does condemnation has to pay for the condemnation. It's not free. And the way that's determined is the value of the property as a whole before and the value of the property after you take in consideration the easement, once it's located. So they attempted to do it, and they issued an order, and the probate court issued a final order with a big seal on it, condemning a right-of-way, but without defining where it lies, and also not applying the correct valuation calculation. So it was appealed, and as things go in court, it's pending in circuit court. So it hasn't been adjudicated finally.
So this plat shows a roadway going from 87 all the way to your client's property on this map. That's not adequate?
Well, I don't know if it is or isn't adequate. It's not defined in the order. In other words, there would be a couple, that's a lot of property. There's a couple of ways that might be adequate, but the point of it's just like if a power line was condemned by Alabama Power across the property. It's got a boundary where the condemnation, where it is. You could say, well, would it be adequate to run the power line over here or over there? When you have a condemnation proceeding, it is a permanent property right in a defined area, an easement like a utility easement, or it's a right-of-way easement. And so that has not been adjudicated with finality by the circuit court. Where, in other words, whose lot is that going to run across when the court gives a final determination? All these lots, where is this right-of-way going to be finally adjudicated? It's just not it's not been finalized. And so it will affect multiple parcels depending on where Judge Taylor, because when it's appealed from probate to the circuit court sits what's called de novo. You may have heard that term. Basically, here's the case again. It's not like an appeal to the Supreme Court where they look at specific issues that are raised in a brief. It's actually set for a trial de novo, and so the court basically retries it and issues a final order, which could, it has to define where it is, and also it's got to address the proper value calculation.
So just to be clear, the road that the chairman is referring to has, although it shows on this map, has not been defined as Mr. Henry's easement.
Exactly.
Okay.
The order.
So it shows a road, but that doesn't mean it's Thomas Henry's road.
That's right. There are roads, there's logging roads all through there, and they have dirt trikes and bikes and whatever, but it doesn't say that's his.
I understand.
That was the deficiency.
And that's what we're waiting on.
Yes, sir.
No,
That's what Judge Taylor will have to do in the case, and it's case number 2023-901427. I referenced it in my letter. That's the actual circuit court case that's pending in front of Judge Taylor.
All right, thank you.
It sounds like this could be an exhibit in defining that, I suppose, if approved.
Would not disagree with that.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Ryan? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, is the applicant here that want to speak on this?
Yeah, I'm Trent Wilson with Wygan Wilson, and that is the reason that we left that easement going all the way to the property line like that. We were anticipating this and just leaving it there. I know it has not been defined yet in that area, but it would certainly make sense if there's an existing 60-foot easement on existing dirt roads that are there now, which is what we've done, that's where that easement would be defined.
Okay. All right, any question, Mr. Wilson?
But given that it has not been defined, and I appreciate that probably does make sense, but there's also just as cogent an argument to be made that the judge could come back and say, I don't like that, we're going to take 60 feet from somewhere else.
That's true. That could happen.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
it absolutely, well, it wouldn't be, it'd be 30 feet.
Okay, well then 30 feet.
But yes,
An
it
easement
could
be
happen.
defined. Yeah.
It certainly could.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you, sir. And that is all that I had signed up to speak on this item. So I'll close the public hearing. Waters, you have anything else?
I do not, no,
Okay.
sir.
I'll entertain a motion.
Well, hold on. Jay, I guess the question is that by our subdivision regs, is this a deficient application?
It's not deficient because the easement has never been defined, so it doesn't exist for an application purpose. But understand
You're anticipating my next question, that if we approve this because it fits our regs, and a week from now, 2 months from now, whatever, the judge comes back and does in fact define another easement, how does that burden Mr. Henry to have to come back?
So, and yes, I was anticipating your question. Is that, so there, you see in the conditions, there are several things that are still pending.
Sure.
Before they can record the plat. If it's the pleasure of the commission here, you could add that as a condition that appeal has to be settled with that easement defined prior to recording the plat, because we have several other things in there. You can do that, but recording the plat, because it's met our regular, or approving the plat and say it gets recorded, that doesn't prevent the courts to impose another easement, 30-foot easement somewhere else on the property. But the fact that it's not defined at the time of application, there's nothing to show because it wasn't defined. So, when we do we require a title policy as part of the application, but what we're primarily looking for is making sure that, whoever the applicant is actually is a legal representative of the property and can apply for whatever they're applying for. These easements, just like deed restrictions and other things, are a civil matter between, whoever has rights to those easements. Just like we talked about in the previous case, even when we're granting new easements, that becomes a civil matter between the property owners and not the county. So it's not deficient. I do think there's a lot of additional catch points that this could be captured, going forward in the future. It could certainly be a condition of approval if this is what you guys want to do, or if not, whatever the courts decide, that will eventually impact the property however they decide.
Yeah, but and then just so that I understand this, if we approve this as it sits and it goes to final plat, and then we have to do another easement gets granted on it, does that mean he's got to come back to us or anything?
That easement would be across whatever properties it affects.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
You mentioned that the easement doesn't exist. It does exist. There's been an order. I understand that. Of condemnation.
It's not defined, yes.
It's not defined.
Yes, I'm sorry, it doesn't, it's not, what I meant, it doesn't exist, is it's not described at the location.
Right, but there is a vested interest
Sure.
in Mr. Henry in that property.
Right.
It's just not been delineated exactly where.
Right, correct.
And I'm searching for the best way to do this to provide the least amount of burden moving forward, you know?
You may have to come to the microphone.
It's done. It's all right.
So I would just hope that with this being a civil matter, that it wouldn't be part of this subdivision application, because this easement is not defined, and we don't know where it's going to be. It's obviously going to be somewhere. But y'all could approve this subdivision tonight, and then the landowner could go and grant whatever easements for access they want to across any of these lots that aren't even in the purview of the planning commission. So what I would ask is for a clean approval and not a conditional approval, because we have time limits on when we can record these final plats. And we don't know about time limits for civil matters that are going on.
Okay?
And the last option that I didn't finish was, you obviously, if you're not comfortable with any of this, you obviously always have the right to table this matter until the civil situation is settled. But the way we've interpreted and looked at it is that it has met all of our rules and regulations. I mean, there's some things they have to do before they can go record a plat. But, it's a complete application according to our rules, and we are completely comfortable with going forward.
Okay? All right, if there's no more questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, we approve SPP 24-27, subject to staff conditions.
Okay? Mr. Bice made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Fletcher seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Chairman votes aye in favor of the motion, so motion carries. All right. Open the public hearing now for case number SPP 25-28, Summer Grove South. Does anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Ms. Waters.
Thank you. As you mentioned, this is case SPP 2528, Summer Grove South subdivision. This is a preliminary plat approval request for a 6-lot residential subdivision. The subject property is located in Planning District 7. It is unzoned. The location is north of Larry Street Road and west of County Road 54 and east of Rigsby Road. The property owners, there are several to be listed, so they're in the next page. And the engineer of record is Dwayne Smith with Anchor Engineering. The total site of the property is around 36 acres, with the smallest lot size approximately 2.1 acres. Here's a list of all property owners. The public utilities proposed is Bell Forest Water System, Riviera Utilities, the Baldwin County Sewer Service, with treatment at their Malvis plant, and Stream Mediacom as the broadband provider. A traffic study for Summer Grove was conducted and revised, and it was accepted by the Planning and Zoning Permit Engineer for Summer Grove South. A wetland report, 2 wetland reports were provided to staff for review and then were approved and reflected with the appropriate buffers. The proposed Summer Grove South subdivision will connect to the existing Summer Grove subdivision, case number SPP 2331, that was approved by the Planning Commission on April 4 of 2024, located just north of the subject property. The originally approved Summer Grove access onto Rigsby Road is being relocated to Larry Street, providing connection between the 2 subdivisions. Staff is recommending approval with the following specific conditions outlined. Here is your vicinity map where I've highlighted the existing Summer Grove and the proposed subject property where Summer Grove extension will be. Here is your proposed Summer Grove South preliminary plat. And here, just for reference, I've highlighted the originally approved Summer Grove on your west side, on your corner, left corner here, where the original access was onto Rigsby Road. And the applicant did submit a revised preliminary plat application to staff that was reviewed and approved administratively, where we took the access, relocated the access from Rigsby Road to the south side of the subdivision that will be connecting to Summer Grove South. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
There's a couple of ponds on this site. Are those being deeded to the county for regional ponds or something, or is that? No?
Not part of this. It's going to be adjacent to the county's regional detention pond. But the 2 for this are going to be private.
So, maybe I asked that the wrong way. Are those ponds part of, like the one next to, it's on lot 4, is that on lot 4?
No, it's a common area.
It's a common area.
Yes. Try to see if I can zoom in.
Common, okay. All right. Any other questions for staff?
In that northeast corner of Lot 4, there's a bowler lane. Is that a private easement?
Do not believe so. Yes. Yes, it's a private access over here to these houses.
So it cuts the corner of lot 4?
It's an existing easement, yes.
Yeah, it looks like to the survey, there's some sort of right-of-way that's there. It just doesn't follow the alignment of it. Because there's several subdivided parcels without street frontage.
All right, any other questions for staff?
One moment, ma'am.
I'll call on you in just a second. Anybody on the Planning Commission have any questions for staff? You have to get that back up.
I don't think we had anybody take any side of that.
Must be 30 feet from here.
They just didn't say that.
Okay. All right, I had no one signed up, but if I see there was a hand that wanted to, so if you wanted to speak to this, I'll let you come up, but you're going to have to come up and give us your name and address, please.
My name is Tracy Williams, and we live on Polonese Lane, and I just wanted to see where we stood at in the middle of all of this, the subdivision. We're on Polonese Lane. We received a letter in the mail showing us telling us to come to the hearing, that we were invited. We just wanted to see where our land stood, where we stood at, our
So
home.
you're over here, like where I'm highlighting. She's over here in this driveway here, which these are out parcels that are not part of the subdivision. They're just reflected as adjoining parcels here.
Yes, ma'am.
So you see where,
Yes, I see what she showed me on the.
okay?
Okay, I just wanted to check.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Was there someone else that wanted to speak on this?
My name is Vashti Bowler Johnson. I've never been to one of these. I'm being educated, and I wanted to know about the roads coming through so that we won't be congested as the way we are right now off of 54 and
Larry?
Larry Street Road, because it's taking a long time to get in and out, and we don't want to be blocked in.
Okay,
Chairman, I can take that one.
go ahead.
So we are currently under design to extend Larry Street. Well, technically, it's going to be Pleasant Road, but we're going to extend Pleasant Road from State 181 to Rigsby Road. In addition to that, we also are under design and have started we've already completed the clearing. We're about to start the utility relocations for 3 laning County Road 64 from State Route 181 2 miles eastward. And that also will include intersection improvements at Rigsby Road and County Road 54, which will include traffic signals as well as turn lanes.
Okay.
Was all that recommended part of the original traffic study, or is this just independent improvements y'all have been doing?
No, so these are projects that we already had on the books, and so what we're working with the various developers and looking at their traffic impacts, and they will pay into this project. So they will be paying for these improvements, and this particular, larger developments, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars they're paying into the improvements they would have had to piecemeal over time, and so we're doing one massive project that was already planned, and so they're going to be paying for their fair share of what their traffic impacts will be towards that project.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark.
Okay. Anyone else on this particular item that wants to speak? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Therese Howard, and my property is on County Road 54 on the front. And I want to know how would all of that affect that part that's not connected to this project?
You're on 54?
Mm-hmm. It was near where she said Paulinus was.
Okay, so you're one of these over
Yes.
here,
On
down here.
54.
So these parcel here are not part of the subdivision.
I know.
They're just listed as out parcels, so they won't have any involvement.
What about further development? Because that's right behind the property.
Once the final plat's recorded and these lots are created, this roadway, I can't remember what they're calling it. No, the road that they are going to be constructing as part of the subdivision, once it's accepted by Baldwin County as one of our roads that we'll maintain, if the applicant wishes to, let's say, Lot 4 is 14 acres, if they wish to come back and further divide Lot 4, they're going to go through the same process here that we're going through tonight. They'll have to submit a preliminary plat. You guys, as adjoining property owners, will have notices sent to your house, and you will get to speak on that public hearing again, just like how you're doing today.
Okay. Thank you.
And this is unzoned, correct?
It is unzoned, yes.
So we wouldn't, or the county commission wouldn't have any, I guess, purview over
No.
use or anything like that. So it would just
No,
come to us
sir.
as a subdivision case.
Yes, sir.
All right, was there anyone else on this item? Okay. Okay.
It is a private shared driveway, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other questions for staff? Ms. Waters, you have anything to add?
No, sir, I do not.
I'm going to close the public hearing, and we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the preliminary plat for case number SPP 25-28, subject to staff conditions.
All right, Ms. Cybers made a motion to approve. Have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Mullick has seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes aye in favor. Okay, our next item, we'll open a public hearing now for case number SRP 25-18. This is the Casa Marsh replat of lots 64 to 72, a four-lot subdivision. Does anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Well, you did plan to be here all night, didn't you?
It's my last one.
All right. It's all yours.
All right, this was actually prepared by Jenny Mosley, and I'm just presenting it for her. The request is to move a common lot line to create four lots of record. Two of the subject parcels are in the eminent Wenzel subdivision that could have reverted to the original lots of records, which were lots 64 through 72. The subject property is located in Plenty District 27. It is unzoned. The total acreage of the subject property is approximately 19 acres. The applicant is requesting a common lot line move to create four lots of records. Two of the subject parcels are in the Emmett Wenzel subdivision. It could be reverted to the existing 9 lots of records, which is lots 64 to 72 of the Emmett Wenzel subdivision. Staff is aware that the requested lot lines move will create one large 100% wetland lot and 3 lots with majority of wetlands. The request would reduce existing nonconformities, and any future development land disturbances of the lots created will require all applicable local, state, and federal permitting. Staff has reviewed the updated delineation report and has no objection to the requested revisions. Staff is recommending approval with the following specific condition. And here is your vicinity map. And the vicinity map, I believe, would revise the boundaries. Here is your survey of the proposed lot line movement, and an enlarged survey with the delineations. Here she reflected the dashed lines as your new proposed property lines. And the blue are the to be deleted lot lines with this approval. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Okay, I had no one signed up. Is anybody here on this item? Do you wish to speak or not? Only if you have a question. All right, anybody have any questions? Okay. No questions, then I'm going to entertain a motion, unless there's some discussion.
I make a motion that we approve case number SRP 25-18, subject to staff conditions.
Okay, Mr. Mullis made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Fletcher seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion votes in favor also. Motion carries. All right, open public hearing now for case numbers SV 25-23, Oplash Island Road. This is a PUD variance request. Anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Ms. Booth?
Good evening again. So this is a request for a variance from the open space, usable open space requirements for a PUD. Our subdivision regulations are written so that they do require open space requirements. And this is a commercial development which would not make, those requirements would not be applicable. So they are coming before us tonight to just grant a variance to allow them to not show usable open space on their site plan. They are still working on some conditions of approval of the original PUD, and they are still working on their landscape plan. So there's some things they still have to work out. But tonight's request is the variance from the usable open space requirement.
Okay. Any questions for staff? All right, I had no one signed up to speak on this item. Is there anyone? Okay. I'll close the public hearing.
I do want to bring something to your attention that on October 2nd, we did approve the PUD for additional storage units. I just want to clarify there are existing units. There are 5 existing units. They are 5 buildings with 1 single use. And they are proposing 4 new buildings with 4 units within each. So that's 16. So there'll be a total of 21 units on site.
Okay.
I do have some public comments that were received after the staff report was sent out. It's just some adjacent property owners, they're just concerned with the noise and use of the storage buildings and just want to make sure that those landscape buffers are installed, and that's what we'll be doing when it goes to construction, is we'll make sure those landscape buffers are in place.
Okay. All right, no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Jay, is this one of those situations we've had before where it's the subdivision regulations don't contemplate the open space on a commercial site?
Yeah, it was, yeah, we have a little contradiction there. The open space requirement applied to all PUDs, even
Right.
commercial PUDs, which obviously usable open space isn't really necessary in a commercial use.
Okay, I was, just for the sake of clarity.
Okay. A motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, we approve case number SV 25-23, subject to staff conditions.
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Seibert has made a motion to approve. Mr. Bias has seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And chairman votes in favor also. All right, we'll open public hearing now for case number CSP 25-31. This is Teresa Drive. Does anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Okay. Ms. Boyd.
All right. This is a CSP, a commission site plan approval. The request is for an office warehouse. The subject property is located in Planning District 39, just south of County Road 32 and east of Teresa Drive. The subject property is currently zoned M1, light industrial, and the total acreage is 0.63. As you can see, this is Highway 32 Business Park, and the whole subdivision is zoned M1. There are a couple other commercial buildings within the park. Here are the site plans of the adjoining properties. So the proposed site plan is an office warehouse. Staff feels it conforms to all the zoning requirements. The land use in this area is mostly rural agricultural, low impact. That's the future land use. This business park existed before Planning District 39 became zoned in 2023. And staff believes that this use is consistent with the community and welfare and should not detract from the public's convenience at this location. Here's the flume map. And this is the site plan with some of the landscaping. There is a 25-foot landscaping in the rear of the subject property. And staff has recommended approval with the following conditions. And these are your typical conditions.
Okay, any questions for staff? Likewise, I had no one signed up on this item either, so I'll close the public hearing. Entertain a motion on this item.
I'll make a motion that we approve case number CSP 25-31, subject to staff conditions.
Mr. Mullick's made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Mr. Seibert seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion votes in favor also. Motion carries. All right. Our last public hearing item, I'll open the public hearing for case number CSP 25-39, St. Michael's. Does anybody need to declare prior communication on this item? Ms. Boykin?
All right, this is also a request for a commission site plan. The subject property is located in Planning District 15, just north of County Road 104 and west of St. Michael Way. The subject property is currently zoned RA with a total of about 79 acres. The applicant is asking for an accessory structure use that would include concession stand with restrooms and also a training facility. It was approved on their previous CSP and they had decided to move it and enlarge it. Here's some of the pictures of the surrounding properties. Here's the future land use map. It is moderate development potential and is near a node. This is their site plan. You can see the proposed building that is outlined in red. This is their landscape plan that was approved during the last CSP review. Here are the elevation plans of the building they are proposing to build. That's the floor plan. Staff has recommended approval with the following typical conditions.
Any questions for staff? Okay, I only had one sign up, Bruce Smith.
Good evening, Bruce Smith, CMG Engineers, representing St. Michael. We take no exception to the conditions. I'm open for any questions that y'all might have, but I do have one question, maybe for the staff. But the baseball field and the softball field, whenever they go to start constructing that, will they need to come back before this commission again to get approval for that as well?
Yes.
They will?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I had to sign up. I'll close the public hearing. Any questions? Entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve case CSP 25-39, subject to staff conditions.
Okay, Mr. Bias has made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Mullick seconded the motion. Any questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes aye in favor also. Motion carries. All right, that's all of our, of those cases. We do have our annual calendar for 2025-26 you should have in your packet. unless there's some issues on it, we need to actually have a motion to approve the calendar for the new year. So I'll entertain a motion on that.
So moved.
Mr. Site made a motion to approve the annual calendar. Have a second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Bullock seconded it. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chairman votes aye. In favor also, motion carries. Any public comments? I guess Ms. Campbell really wanted to speak to that other item. So, yeah. Okay. Mr. Jay, do you want to start with your reports? Huh? Oh. Yeah, you want to make some comments? No comments. Yeah. Anybody got any comment? I guess that's for us.
All righty, I'll be quick today. I did want to take today and just kind of give you all a little summary. We had of course, our fiscal year ended on September 30th and started a new fiscal year on October 1st. But it's a good time to give a little summary of what all happened last year and then some of our accomplishments and some of our goals we're setting for next year. So that's kind of it's a little bit different report that I've been giving, but I thought it was a good time to switch gears a little bit. First, real quick, we did have 3 rezoning applications at County Commission last month. The first was up in kind of Bayonet area. It was rezoning from M1 to RR. Interesting enough, there is a lot of N1 zoning out there on the river. It's been zoned that way for a very long time yet. But anyway, they were rezoning to build a home. That was approved. The Kramer property, which is down off of Mifflin Road, County Road 20, was rezoned from RA to RSF1. They are going through the subdivision process with both us and Foley, and I believe the lot sizes, they're fairly large. They were over an acre lot, so it was pretty consistent with everything going on in the area. But that rezoning was approved. The final one was the Showman property, which is out off of County Road 34. So it's right at the edge of Fairhope. That subdivision you see kind of north of the property on the screen there, that's in Fairhope. So this is pretty much adjacent to Fairhope corporate limits. That was rezoned from BCZ to RSF1. That's the only 3 we had last month. But to give you a little bit of a summary of everything that we did in 2025 in the P&Z department, a lot of this is going into our how the county's doing their budget books and their budget summaries now. But yeah, as you all know, we did develop and approve through the county commission and implemented major updates to the subdivision regulations and zoning ordinance. Obviously, you guys had a big part in that, and I really thank everything y'all did to do that. But that's certainly helped. If you look at our metrics that we measure, our variances that you normally see have gone down quite a bit. They've been reduced by 38%, so that's pretty telling that our regulations are more clear and consistent and not creating as many variance issues. But we have streamlined our permitting process. There's been a 10% increase in total amount of permits that have been issued, but the time frame overall has gone down. How long it's taken us to get permits in and out the door has gone down by 54%. So efficiency's gone way up, and that's really good. But the quality of the permit reviews remains high because there's less permit violations and permit appeals. So we're not sacrificing time for quality. We're just making sure we've got good regulations now. We're going by them, and it makes it a lot better to be more accurate and quicker going through the process. But you'll hear more about this last thing in a minute, but we did improve our customer service by coordinating with the building department and the highway department to combine how our county permit applications are. So now we have one centralized group that takes care of all permits that are issued by the county, whether it's Mark's group or Eddie's group in the building department. They all go to one group of people that can intake the permits, process the permits, process the payments. So it's good for the customer side because they're dealing with one person not having to be bounced around all over the place. And then we can take our time and focus on the technical matters so our quality remains high in our reviews. So looking at the summary of subdivision permits issued, and this is, fiscal year 24 versus fiscal year 25. So there was 19 preliminary plats approved in FY 24 versus 31 in FY 35. So a slight increase there. Also a slight increase in final plats, 57 versus in 24 versus 64 in 25. Construction plan review, that's gone up dramatically. There's a lot of reasons for that. One is kind of gotten, this last fiscal year, we've fully implemented our permit, Josh's group, the permitting engineer group. We're doing a lot more of those reviews, a lot more thorough review and inspections than we probably ever have at the county level. PUDs, we've seen that kind of trend down. We're kind of expecting that to start changing a little bit with the new regulations, but the subdivision exemptions, obviously there's always a lot of those, and we're staying pretty consistent, just under 300 of those a year. Zoning permits, for rezonings FY 24, we had 38 versus 41 in FY 25. So fairly consistent there. PRDs are fairly consistent, 3 and 4. The zoning variances, that's what I was talking about earlier. Our regulations are really helping. Those variances are continuing to trend down, which is a really good thing. And commercial site plan, I'm not really sure but there has been a little decline in the commercial site plans. I'm not really sure what's triggering that or why, but there has been a little decrease in those. But this is the time that I was telling you about earlier. We look at the review time. Each permit process takes, preliminary plats, it was taking 140 days to get through that review period and approval period to issue the permit. In 24, we're down to 40 days. So once they get in, we've got good, clean regulations. We can review them quickly, get them to you guys quickly, and make sure the accuracy's there and not have any issues. Final plats, dramatically going down, 179 down to 54. Construction plan review, it's going down some, but again, you saw there's been a lot more volume of those going on now. So that's that may not seem like a lot of efficiency there, but it really is when you look at the volume of what they're doing now. Zoning site plans, so those are like get a site plan approval for a residential construction or a house or something. That's going from 68 days down to 28 days. And rezonings have gone down dramatically there too. And again, a lot of that is just, we've got our regulations correct, we've got our workflows established in Citizen Serve, so everything has good, hard deadlines on when applications have to be received by the applicant and how long it takes us for every step of the process of review, first review, second review. And so we've got a very clean workflow system that sets those deadlines along the way.
Jay, do you think a big difference in that time on the rezoning cases is because they don't come before us anymore?
That is a huge piece of the puzzle, yeah. Yeah, because it's, that was adding practically 2 months to the
45, 60 days.
Right, yeah. So looking at some of the FY 26 goals and objectives we've kind of set for the planning department. One, just want to kind of give you guys a little update on kind of what our structure is, in case you didn't know. We actually have 4 different groups. We have natural resources, which their focus now is really on water quality, watershed management, natural resource preservation enhancement, conservation, lands management, and natural resources project implementation and grant management. So we're shifting them into a more proactive role in being involved with long-range planning and county project implementation. So we have a lot of regional stormwater, a lot of habitat creation and mitigation and remediation, and like our Magnolia Springs River creative wetland project the county's doing. That they're highly involved in that. So we're able to really make a big difference on a bigger scale, tackling some of these bigger issues with grant funding and different projects we can implement that will have a wider impact to the community. Current planning, which is mostly what you see, which is all of our zoning administration and subdivision review. And so you guys are very familiar with what that group does. Permit engineer division, which is what I was mentioning earlier, to make sure compliance with all the transportation, drainage, and utility reviews, the construction plan reviews, permits, and then also all of our site inspections. We've added another position to make sure that we're able to keep up with the volume of site inspections that go on, which, as you all see in the news a lot lately, when those and luckily, we haven't been in the news about this in any of our projects in the county, but they're, those daily inspections by Josh's team is really important to make sure things stay in compliance and they don't become a big problem before it's too late. So they do a great job of that. And then our code enforcement group, who deals with all of our code violations and those type of things. But that permit administration group is what I mentioned earlier. Technically, it's housed under the building department, just because that's kind of where it fit from a budget standpoint. But Mark and I both have a direct line to them to make sure they're handling our permits the way that we need them handled.
Hey, Jay, the only thing I don't see on here is long-range planning.
So I'm glad you said it. That's in my long-term plan, is that there should be eventually there should be a fifth group, which is long-range planning. And we will get there one day, but that's definitely on the radar to tackle. Yeah. Because I'm not sure that we've ever had a long-range plan.
Far be it for me to be the one to point that out.
Yeah. So some of the goals we've set, we kind of set some for each of the divisions. So the current planning division, we want them to continue to build upon the coordination with the building department and fully train and implement that whole process of that kind of single point of contact. And that will really allow our staff to concentrate on the technical review, and which is where we should be focusing our time. The second part of that is going into long-range planning. We're kind of housing that under current planning right now, but we've got, you all know we're working on the master plan. You guys are a big part of that, and we're going to continue to get that finished sometime in FY26. Permit engineer group, we want to make sure we got 2 different grant fundings that we're working on. They actually were approved this morning at the county commission. Consultant services for our low impact development tool that we wrote into our regulations. Well, we got grant funding to pay for a consultant to develop that review tool for us. So that's something that Josh's team is working on. And also, the second part of that is the hydraulic gauges and Styx River and Magnolia River for our Agua system, and really kind of fully implement that with our review process, so we understand what's going on at the basin level when it comes to hydraulics, whether it's county projects or development projects or whatever it is, so we can have a more thorough review of the stormwater designs. And then improve our permit compliance inspection. Like I said, there's the volume of that is out there. They're doing a great job, and we'll need to continue to build upon that to keep it. What we want is to keep everybody out of trouble. That's what the worst thing is when sites go south, they're in construction, everybody gets a lot of egg on their face for that. We want to keep them out of those situations. Natural Resources Division, we want to develop, inventory, and assess all the, and develop a conservation plan for all county-owned properties. The county owns a lot of property all over there, and we've never had a full, thorough inventory and assessment of what we have and what it can be, and start looking at a long-range plan of what can we do for conservation, what can we do for additional outdoor recreational opportunities and things like that. So that's going to be one of their main focuses. We did actually also just hire another natural resources planner that will help that group achieve those goals. But again, continue to coordinate with the Highway Department, Parks Department, and the other agencies to develop a strategic plan of natural resource projects in the county, and an implementation plan, and how we fund it and how we go after grant funding. There's a strategy behind that. Is once we understand where we're trying to go with it, is actually developing that strategy and working with all the stakeholders to make that a reality. Code enforcement, we want to make sure they're focused on strategically addressing code violations that pose the greatest risk to public safety, health, and neighborhood. We get a lot of complaints about a lot of different things, and you can get overwhelming very quickly, but we want to make sure that we have a way to strategically, focus on, make the highest priority the ones that have the greatest, risk to safety and health. But then streamline our code enforcement process, because most people don't know this, but the limitations we have with the authorities that we're given by the state legislature, we have when a city has a code violation, they can take it to municipal court within 30 days and get it resolved. Well, our process, we have to go through civil court, and it takes a long time. So we want to make sure we do everything we can within the law to reduce that caseload, reduce the time it takes to resolve those cases. So With that, I'll be glad to answer any questions. That's kind of a little bit of a look at where we were and where we're trying to go this next fiscal year. And I appreciate this group and this commission and everything you guys do. You're a great help of making a lot of these things happen.
Okay, any questions?
Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
sir, okay.
All good?
That it?
Mr. Chairman, I got one comment. Just want to encourage, to add on what Jay just said there with restructuring sort of how the permit intake is taking place, and we've already seen a lot of successes with that. So we would like to invite any of the planning commission members to come down to the Foley Satellite Courthouse, just right in the corner from where Commissioner Gruber's office is on that wing, and take a look, take a little tour. We'll be glad to kind of show you how the building official, the building department, and P&Z is housed and arranged to provide but much better citizen service when someone comes in with a question or has a application or wants to apply for a permit. I think it very much be well worth your time to take a little tour if you have some time of the day.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
All right, nothing else? Then we will be adjourned until our December 4th meeting.